Now, trooping wasn't the only celebration last week. A certain rather famous footballer was finally honoured with a knighthood. So, we have Sir David Beckham in our midst. How do you think Becks might have felt upon hearing that news? Because these two have become quite chummy lately, haven't they?
They have. Well, they've got bees in common now, haven't they? They've got bees and honey.
Doesn't everybody?
And, well, you know, if you're not into beekeeping, you are just not with it.
Absolutely.
Are you even living?
It's funny because, you know, this story has divided. I've been, well, not in many pubs because that's going to send out the wrong impression, but this has been a talking point. Because a lot of people are like, oh, finally, he's been knighted. And everyone's like, oh, no, this is just bad. This is bad for Britain. Now we've got Lady Victoria Beckham. And what's he actually done to deserve this? How much charity work has he done? Does he really deserve it? But he has been relentless in his pursuit of his knighthood. And he has struck up a very close friendship with the king. And, you know, we're seeing him, didn't he just edit Country Life?
He's editing Country Life on
Farmer
his official
Beckham,
birthday later.
Right?
Yeah.
He's going to be having 2 birthdays next, now that he's a sir, isn't he?
Yeah. It's an unlikely partnership, though, isn't it? Because they do seem to share a lot of passion for similar causes. And when people call in to question what has he done, I don't think there's any question regarding his legacy.
I don't think there's any question at all. I mean,
his charitable endeavours, even his contribution to opening up the women's game. You know,
yes, it's true.
It could go on.
Yeah.
No, he's been a diplomat in many different regards. I mean, his original sort of royal interaction was with Prince William, who he still sees quite a bit of through football. But I mean, I remember when England were pitching very hard to get to host the World Cup back in 2006. The sort of the dream team really was Prince William and David Beckham. And they worked very closely together. So he goes back a long way. You know, I mean, a lot of footballers, they kind of do their time on the pitch, and they either go off and run a club or do a bit of commentary or whatever. He has done a lot of other things, and I think where they really bond, him and the king, is they do have a genuine interest in kind of young people, sort of giving young people sort of, you know, a head start in life, and he's done a lot of that. And you know, there's a rather sort of charming modesty about David Beckham, which you don't see in all footballers. So I think overall, I think it's a good move.
How could the king use somebody like David Beckham to full effect, do you think, or Sir David Beckham, as I should? Well,
already he's a big ambassador for the king's for the king's charities, I mean, the King's Foundation, the King's Trust, you know, and I think it's, you know, football does play such a kind of key part in national life, and he is one of the few footballers who, I mean, his career finished years ago, but I mean, he's still sort of a global box office figure. Okay, he didn't win the World Cup, rather annoyingly, but you know, he did quite a lot for the game.
But when you look ahead, Robert, and you look at William's involvement with the FA and how David, those skills that he's applying to the King's Foundation now could be transferable. Are we looking at a longer-term relationship with him in the palace, do you think?
Well, we've certainly got a monarch coming down the track who's a lot keener on football than the current one. I mean, Prince Charles is interested in many things. Football isn't one of them. But I mean, this year, you know, we've had Prince William actually sort of stepping up as a football commentator. So I think that kind of the palace football overlap is destined to get stronger, not weaker. Yeah.
It's not just that; it's the celebrity overlap. I think is bridging this gap. I was at the event at St James's Palace for the King's Foundation Awards, and you had Beckham there, Meryl Streep, Kate Winslet, Ron LeBlanc. I mean,
sounds rubbish.
Well, it's sort of bolstering this sort of celebrity element. Sarah Beanie there, Penny Lancaster, and the Amazon cameras were there filming a documentary which is upcoming in the autumn, I think, looking at King Charles's sustainability in the foundation. So lending sort of this A-list sort of stardust is something, you know, that they're all doing.
Well, I think he recognises
not just William.
I think the king recognises the importance of that. I mean, they're in talks, I'm told, with Kate Winslet to become an official ambassador for the King's Foundation. Yeah. And you know, I think that just, when we think about the monarchy, you know, we love the pomp, the pageantry, the tradition, everything else. But I suppose the A-listers are sort of the tentacles to an even wider audience.
Especially with the diminishing working royal pool.
100%. And I think they recognise that.
Are these celebrity supply teachers?
Or
Well, bizarrely,
unofficial
Meryl
substitute.
Streep, yeah, Meryl Streep was described as a friend of the foundation. She's not even an ambassador, so you know they're manoeuvring people into these positions.
And then they're going back to America and saying how brilliant the King's work is.
Yeah.
You know, the Prince's Trust now, the King's Trust is a big thing in the States now. So you know, clearly he's in his element when he's with the load of thespians. He is. He's always really happy. There's always a big smile on his face. But I think it goes deeper than just wanting to rub shoulders. I think he's aware that they take his work to parts of the world where it might otherwise not reach.
Well, they make a royal event feel that bit more special because
Definitely.
you know he's having far more receptions now. I mean, the palace is busy. There's receptions pretty much every week, and he can't be everywhere in the room. And if you've got 500 or 1,000 people, you want to sort of enhance the experience. So if
you send in your A team,
sprinkle
get
it
the
around,
supply
and then people
teachers
go, well,
in.
you know, I managed to sort of say hello to the king and shake his hand, but I met Kate Winslet and I have a lovely chat with Meryl Streep, David Beckham, you know, and it means it just enhances the whole kind of visitor experience, if you like. But it's been very interesting, his overall approach to these parties, these receptions, because they used to be very formal events. You arrived, there would always be a greeting line, because the late Queen wanted to be able to say, I shook the hand of everybody in the room, or they shook my hand. And then everyone would sort of stand in pre-arranged sort of clusters, and she would move around, and that, you know, that's how it was. It's chaos now. He likes what he calls informal formality. It's sort of, as he said to one of his staff, he said, look, they're here to see me, but they're also here to see each other, so let's have a party. Yeah. So, you know, royal events have certainly, there's been that sort of tonal shift. And having some celebrities in the room, I think, just gives it that extra kind of buzz.
Pizzazz, absolutely.